What's going on, everybody? John McKechnie here. This is the Beat John McKechnie NFFC RotoWire Online Championship live stream. Excited to be here. Excited to be doing this again. I've been doing this for a handful of years now. Always a good time. And I'll just go ahead and give everyone the lay of the land, the ground rules before we get rolling here. We get started at 8 o'clock sharp Eastern time, so that's just under 4 minutes away. Let's dig into some rules as far as the scoring is concerned, just so nobody's confused by the picks. So it's 20 yards or 0.05 per passing yard. So 100 blah blah blah, so on and so forth. You get 6 points for a passing touchdown. Important distinction there, as opposed to four. So that raises guys like Joe Burrow and so on, maybe a little bit more. Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff, in this format compared to maybe somewhere like a half point, or I'm sorry, a 4 point format where guys like Lamar Jackson are like really closing the gap, or Jalen Hurts, of course. And additionally, it is full point PPR. So that, of course, is an important distinction as well, as opposed to standard or half point PPR. We can find receptions almost anywhere. So we'll see if receiver gets pushed up, pushed down, tight end premiums, a premium gets put on tight ends, anything like that. So excited to get started here. This is always going to be a pretty tough, challenging room. A lot of sharp people play in this one, looking to finish ahead of me in this league. And as a result, they get a free subscription to RotoWire, in addition to some other pretty nice prizes. The guys over at the NFFC really have it going on. So it's a $350 buy-in for this one, with a serious overall component to it. I think it's 250,000 to the overall champion, the grand champion. Yes, that is correct. If you win your league, you get 1,500. If you place second, you get $700. And then there's a consolation bracket as well that pays out pretty nicely. And these are all 12-team leagues as well. Oh, we got 100 people here hanging out, watching the draft here. So we are starting in about a minute. I will be picking third, which was one of my higher ranked choices. We do the Kentucky Derby style draft slot selection. Hard to say, but essentially you rank your preferred draft slot from 1 to 12, using the numbers 1 through 12, signifying which pick you want the most at the front, and the pick you want the least at the end. So for me, I definitely wanted a top 3 pick, and I'm kind of equally happy with any of the top 3 guys. I won't completely reveal who those 3 are, but pretty obvious who they who you can imagine who they are. And yeah, I just wanted to do that. And I figured with it being a third round reversal, being on an end like this, the early end in particular, you are going to get stung a little bit with your third round selection, your third round options, and so on. So I figured if I'm equally happy with any of the first 3 guys, might as well have the slightly best draft slot coming the other way back around, especially in the third round. That third round reversal, always a tricky thing to navigate, an important thing to bear in mind. Okay, we are getting started. This is the draft board. Don't have the totally private one with everyone's names blacked out. Sorry about that. I hope that's not too annoying for my other participants if they may be streaming along here. Jamar Chase goes first overall in this one. Not overly surprising. Bijan Robinson goes next. That for me leaves. Well, he's probably my third out of this group of guys, but that's a-okay. It's Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he's going to have a monster season. I do like that CeeDee Lamb pick. He was kind of right in consideration there. I think that maybe you could argue that you could space it out to a top four that's kind of flat, or one that you'd be happy with getting any of those or any of those players, whether it is Jamar Chase, Bijan Robinson, Jameer Gibbs, or CD Lamb. We see Justin Jefferson come off the board next. Oh no, I am I've just been alerted on Twitter that more people are watching Taylor Swift right now. So really bad idea on my part to go up against Taylor Swift for a live stream. But we're gonna press on. We're gonna keep drafting here. Of course, I can't be rattled by the celebs. I can't be rattled by new heights. Even though I'm kind of beneath it all, I'm quivering. I'm shaking right now. Okay, we've got Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey coming off the board next. Not overly surprising. I think Saquon at 6. I know that a lot of people are hand wringing about, well, did you see how many touches Saquon Barkley had last year? Like it's going to be, something that we don't know until the season starts as to whether it's actually going to have an effect, or is Saquon kind of like that proverbial outlier that the rest of the kind of normal limitations of of the human physicality can withstand. In Saquon's case, we'll see if he's able to kind of break that mold and really be the guy that isn't overly impacted by the huge usage rate and sheer volume of touches that he had the year prior. Looks like our draft board has briefly paused. Just a moment here. I have found a public draft board, I think. Bear with me here, folks. Really doing this on the fly. Ah, there we go. Beautiful. We've got it. We are ready to go. Let me adjust some things here. Bear with me just briefly here, folks. Yeah, look at that. Okay. We've got the public one up. So now nobody's draft strategy is being messed up. Looks like, however, that there is some stuff going on. I think one person has yet to show up, so we're waiting on them. So we are just hanging out, I guess, for this next minute or two while we get things going. Let's see here. We've got a couple people in the chat here. Bill is in here. It looks like he's on turns. And let's see here. And Nathan also chiming in with a good luck. Appreciate that, Nathan. Sorry for being a little bit thrown off there, folks. I'm a little bit confused as to the pause. Not used to that so much, but we'll get to smoother sailing here shortly. But just to recap, this is the draft board for the RotoWire Online Championship. Right here, I'm picking third in this particular draft. So that put me in position to get Jameer Gibbs. Taking him over CeeDee Lamb was a little bit tricky. But I still ended up rolling with it. Nathan wants to know if there's an NFFC promo code. I will try to hunt that down. Let's see. So CeeDee Lamb goes 4th overall. We've got Justin Jefferson going 5th overall. We've got Saquon going 6th, and we've got Christian McCaffrey going 7th. The chat, I'm not going to share the chat, but the chat is well, nobody's happy about having to wait for the hold up here. We think perhaps Otto Genti to him, but we'll see. Okay, we're back up and running. Devin Achane goes 8th, a little bit early for Achane, but not too bad. And in this particular format, you can't adhere too hard to ADP. You really do have to get your guys in this particular format, and I think that there's a lot going in Achane's favor in this particular format. I think the offense could really, really kind of flow through him in a big way. It seems like stuff is kind of weird, kind of funky with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. As talented of a player as I think he is, there always seems to be the proverbial bumps and bruises with him. We know the durability concerns with Tua. I think things do fall apart if Tua does miss time. But regardless, I think Achane, despite the kind of lighter frame that he has for a traditional workhorse running back, he can just sop up so many receptions, which is huge in PPR, and be like the kind of primary workhorse type of running back in the run game function as well. We haven't really seen a whole lot of Jalen Wright be particularly successful just yet. And Ollie Gordon, a very late round draft pick, although one that, is interesting, of course, in his own right. Drake London goes 11th. So that's another one that's like probably it's going to strike you as a little bit too high, but at the same time, I think it's totally worthwhile to grab London there at the end of the first. I think that he's a contender to potentially lead the league for targets, and I think that we see the touchdowns maybe creep up a little bit this year with the switch to Michael Penix at quarterback. So I think a lot to like about Drake London. I kind of freaked myself out earlier. I was looking at my best ball portfolio, and I realized I'm pretty light on Drake London, particularly on one of those best ball sites. And I was like, oh boy, I need to fix that. I need to fix that quickly. So I will be working on that after, of course, this draft. Chase Brown. So a London Chase Brown start. That Chase Brown, we in a lot of places you don't really see him go quite this early. But again, throw your normal stuff out the window when it comes to your expectations for the NFFC. Oh, what's this? A wild guest appears. Maybe. We got Ashton Genty going next off the board to Team 10.
Hey, John.
Hey, what's going on? My guy Mario Puig has joined us to kick it a little bit as we go through this live draft. So Mario, I was bemoaning earlier that we are going up right now against Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce on their live stream.
Yeah.
So our numbers might not do as well, or at least they weren't when it was just me. But
the Venn diagram is a circle, so it's like they're taking all of our people.
Exactly. Yeah, that not a lot of differentiation between the two fan clubs. We are all a singularity of Swifties. So to catch you up, Mario, I'm picking third.
Nice.
I took Jahmyr Gibbs. I thought, and that was after Chase and Bijan came off the board. I have kind of come around to the idea of CeeDee Lamb being a top 4 pick or even a top 3 pick. That Dallas offense is good. I mean, you talk about offensive environments. Like I think Lamb definitely is going to be set up really well. But I think that Gibbs is just kind of like that next level talent. I think, this is going to be his 3rd year. I think this is the year that what we saw at the end of the regular season last year is what we're going to see all year, hopefully, or at least that's what it's going to need to be for him to pay off that number 3 pick.
Yeah, the 3rd round reversal does sting a little tiny bit in NFFC, but I generally like the idea of any start that is getting Gibbs as late as you can. And nowadays it is usually more like 3 than 5 or 6 or whatever it might have been earlier in the offseason. And I guess the practice reports kind of just corroborate what you were suggesting, especially that they might be getting more pass catching work. So even if he's not getting like those 20 carries like when Montgomery's out, he might be like a 6 catch kind of running back a lot of weeks.
That's huge. And we know that it's not just opportunity for him. It's like what he can do with that opportunity. Now I am on the clock here. Whew. I've got some options. Receiver? I probably should, but I don't know if I will.
Hey, I will never discourage a running. Trey McBride I would discourage, but team running back is always welcome.
Right. So I'm a little bit torn here with my options.
It is a bit of a wait till your third one.
Exactly. I'm kind of running this down, folks. I'm sorry.
I use the clock all the way.
All right, here we go. JSN.
High PPR floor, no doubt.
Yeah, that's what I was chasing. I will occasionally kind of scare myself thinking about the Darnold downside this year. It all kind of coming back to earth. And if they do go to Jalen Milroe, we're in big trouble with this JSN pick. But I think by even like the median range of outcomes, it can't be that bad for JSN this year, I don't think. And I know you don't want to like say that about your second pick, but I just didn't want to be.
Stability is important in the first few rounds, and it's as much as we're kind of like I get greedy, with ideas about I don't know, like Tyreek Hill, I guess, coming back to what he was a couple of years ago, things like that. But there's a very low floor there, even if the ceiling is higher. And Smith and Jigba, for all we know, might lead the league in targets. Like they don't have anything else to do in that offense other than run the ball, and they're going to fall behind a lot, so they're going to throw it too.
Yeah. So all that combined with just the way that the receiver board kind of unfolded. I've been, as much as I love Ladd McConkey and like I'm a Georgia guy, I haven't really been taking him at cost much, which means I just basically haven't been taking him much at all in best ball this year, at least so far. So, the redraft, obviously a different discussion and everything like that, but
he's probably worse in redraft, honestly, just for the risk of leaving games early, because I think he's always going to be that guy. I'd love for his falling lessons to help him turn a corner and become invincible, but I'm kind of assuming he's going to keep tweaking things pretty regularly.
Yeah, it wasn't uncommon for him at Georgia to do that. Again, as much as I like the guy and root for him, obviously,
Great player.
Yeah. I just was a little bit leery there. I think, I was close to taking our guy, Jonathan Taylor. But
I think you made I think receiver was the pick. And I'm not quite I was pretty belligerently high on Tyreek Hill as of like a week ago or something, but getting the floor pick with Smith, when you're getting almost a guaranteed 10 targets a game in PPR, it's just kind of, you can't go wrong with that.
That's kind of where I land with it. Tyreek does go at the top of the third round here, so that's where it lands. And then one last note on Ladd McConkey. In addition to both of us being Georgia guys, we both got married on the same day this spring, so that's pretty cool.
That's how do we not know this lore earlier? Did you know this the whole time and not tell me?
Yeah, I've known this the whole time. I didn't tell you.
Well, you didn't tell me that that Ladd McConkey was his wedding was on April 11th.
No, I didn't tell you that. And
was it 11th? Was it 9th? I can't remember.
It was the 12th. So
12. God dang it. Sorry.
Well, I had to like intercept your mail so you wouldn't go to Ladd McConkey's wedding instead of mine. But
I must have been thinking of the flight or something.
That's right. Yeah, because you get in the day before. Let's see here. But yeah, I mean he's got great taste in wedding days, of course. But ultimately, I went with JSN. We'll move on. So we got the freshly paid Kyron Williams going with the 4th pick of the 3rd round. So the first running back for team number 9 after starting out with Malik Neighbors and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I do like that start, especially in this format. The first 2 in particular. But Kyron, I think we can just kind of say, like, hey, like he's going to do what you need him to, probably. Like he's not going to like win the league for you, but like a cog that should keep things going. Although if you are concerned about the Rams offense with the Stafford back stuff, I don't know how that impacts Kyron. Like what do you think, like the downstream effects on the Rams run game? Because you would think, hey, they're going to have to run the ball more, but it's like you're going to be more monochromatic, easier to stop.
Yeah, I think a huge part of Williams' success is the interior offensive line, and specifically Dotson and Avila at guard. I don't know who is like Coleman Shelton or something. No, they got that 6th rounder from last year at center now. I guess he was doing pretty good too. But Avila and Dotson have just been steamrolling people the last couple of years, and they might be the most important details to Williams' success, or at least Jimmy Garoppolo might be good enough that it is more like Nakua and Devontae Adams's problem if Stafford were to miss time than it would be Kyron's. But you never know. I think Stafford is a legitimately great quarterback. And you're up here, right, John? Your team 3.
Yes. I am.
So yeah,
we see Tet go in the 3rd round here.
A few weird picks in this one, honestly. Like Chase Brown going before those 3 receivers, especially Nakua and St. Brown. That's see Tet pretty early there, but who knows? He's looking pretty good. You're sticking with the brand, John?
Sticking with the brand.
Is that what this is?
Yep, I got Lamar Jackson, and I can hear people yelling like, "Oh, it's 6 points for passing touchdown, you fool!" And it's like, well, he's gonna throw like 35 passing touchdowns.
He's gonna throw 50 touchdown passes. That's 300 points.
Like straight up, I think that Lamar Jackson's supporting cast is leaps and bounds better than what Josh Allen is working with. Josh Allen, like I know that it's like something of like a rallying cry for Bills fans. Like, Lamar has all the help in the world. Josh Allen has to do it all himself. Didn't always used to be that way. But bottom line here, when it comes to Allen, like the guys he's throwing to, I just don't think are as impressive as the group of, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, DeAndre Hopkins, Mark Andrews, and eventually Isaiah Likely. Like, I think that's a better grouping that sets up more passing touchdowns than does, injured Khalil Shakir right now. Josh Palmer, the tight ends.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where for the rankings, it's a coin flip, but on the specific question of passing touchdowns, I would project Lamar to have more. I think Allen, that's not even to say like I wouldn't necessarily take Allen ahead of Lamar, but that for Allen to finish ahead of Lamar in fantasy scoring, I think it's Allen who is run dependent, specifically the rushing touchdowns. And I think he does have a weird, he has a weird chance of running for something like 20 touchdowns this year. But I do think Allen kind of needs to go over something like 16 rushing touchdowns to make up for the difference between the passing touchdowns between himself and Lamar.
Yes. All right. Looks like I'm back up here, gang. What am I going to do?
Scary Terry, Breece Hall, both gone.
All right, I'm going to going a little bit old school with this one. It's not what I usually do, but I think they're gonna need this guy to do a lot.
Yeah, they don't even know who their backup or third string. They don't know what other running backs are going to be on the roster. So particularly with what the Saints are paying Kamara, I think it's like I remember seeing some a beat writer who was saying like they want to keep his touches a little more limited. And it's like is that not to say they wish they had a different roster? Do they have other running backs? Are they going to keep Kamara at 12 carries a game so they can give Cam Akers 12 carries too? It's like weirder things have happened, I guess, but not many.
No, yeah, they're just gonna have to ride Kamara till the wheels fall off. He's got the week 11 bye, which I like. Not that I'm factoring that in like hugely right now. I was very tempted to go with the tight end there, but I opted against that. I didn't want to be like falling behind. I think the tight end, while important to address before too long, I felt like the fourth round I needed to do something a little bit more conventional. As much as I do like
It's
George
hard.
Kittle this
It's
year.
hard to go quarterback and tight end in the first 4 rounds.
Exactly. Yeah, you can
Maybe
only
one or the
only get
other.
exotic once in those early bits.
So yeah, there goes Daniels. There goes Kenneth Walker. I gotta say, I do wish Brees Hall had fallen to you, but I do think it's preferable to have Kamara versus Walker if they must go in the same round. And maybe I'm just selling Walker short. I definitely don't mean to, but I think for a team that's projected to be as bad as the Seahawks are, and with Charbonnet being demonstrated as a former second round pick who's pretty good, maybe even an equal, clearly better on passing downs. I don't know. I don't have any Walker exposure this year, and maybe I'll get burned for it.
Yeah, I don't have any Walker either. Let's see here. Ryder's chiming in. What's up, Ryder? How you doing? Thanks for joining us. Let's see. London before Nico seems crazy. I don't disagree in a vacuum, but you do need to get a little bit like ADP agnostic, I guess, in this
It's
format. And like if you're Mhm.
Puka and St. Brown falling to where they did is the really atypical part of the wide receiver order there. Like Drake London, Nico Collins, Brian Thomas, you'll see kind of just exchange spots in a lot of drafts for going back a couple months already. But you don't often see Nakua and St. Brown fall past, like either one you don't usually see fall past the 9th or 10th pick.
No, you really don't. So that was especially in this format. I think the Nakua slide. I think it is definitely like it reflects when we're drafting, just because
Yeah.
the vibes around Stafford just being in an airstreamer with like infrared lights on,
I
not
think
great.
I think in my NFFC draft, which was, I don't know if it's been a full 2 weeks already, but Puka Nakua went ahead of Justin Jefferson in that one. So yeah, you can even though the ADP is pretty there's a big sample to it, and it's generally reliable. There is sometimes pretty significant fluctuations. And again, Chase Brown going ahead of Genty, going ahead of Nakua and St. Brown. That's it could pay off. I'm still pretty surprised to see that though.
Yeah,
James Cook, there's probably a good pick.
yeah. I actually was considering him lightly. What would you have made of it if I went with like the Allen Cook combo right there at the 3-4 turn?
I don't think it would like it's not conventional like pairing logic, but I don't think it needs to have that logic to justify the 2 picks. It is, I guess, something of a zero sum game between Josh Allen and James Cook with the rushing touchdown consideration. But if they're splitting 30 of them, who cares?
That's what I'm thinking. Like Vegas has the Bills, and probably everyone in their own head has the Bills as like a top three scoring offense, and that a ton of it is
Yeah.
going to come on the ground. So I would just be in that particular instance, like just cornering the market on the Bills rushing touchdowns, of which again that there will be a zillion.
Yeah, they are run based under Joe Brady, and it's why their efficiency went to another level last year. It's like it's true that Josh Allen can carry the offense as a passer, and just in general, of course. But when you give Josh Allen some help and give him some real cover to work with, so that he's not just taking on the whole defense at once every single play, it's like it gets harder to stop Josh Allen yet, because it's there's a bit of like a element of surprise at last.
100%. Like yeah, like they're able to do a lot more that way. I mean, they're much more dangerous than they had been previously, where they're kind of like leveling off maybe a little bit. So we Trevion Henderson go to let's see, start the fifth round. That's not overly surprising to me. I've seen him really kind of rise up in draft boards over the last week. I think it's understandable. Like,
Preseason. I
yeah, you see
mean,
the preseason
it's
stuff and you're like,
it's
dang.
weird though, right? Because like we knew who he was. This is not. It's not like the preseason was when we were introduced to Travian Henderson. So, yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was a little weird for the rankings to change, especially when the preseason him making big plays in the preseason does nothing to address his only limitation that there ever was with Henderson, which is how much volume capacity can he withstand. Kickoff return for a touchdown in a preseason game says nothing about that, and yet it still had an effect on his ADP.
Because it's like, wow, he go fast, you know?
He do go fast, and he will continue to do that. And he's clearly a good player. It's one of those things like unless he I guess has a preseason game with 20 carries in it, and then that'd be stupid. I don't care.
Yeah, this is true. And yeah, we're gonna, Ramondre Stevenson's not just like disappearing necessarily. And like I think that they like the Patriots, the way they're set up, they should use both of those guys. So I
Yeah.
mean, there is again like that volume limitation with Henderson that's going to make him a little bit potentially frustrating on occasion in redraft. But because there could be those weeks where it's just like he gets him down to the goal line, Stevenson punches it in, and you just kind
Yeah.
of have to live with it. But yeah, such like a tantalizing player. It's like I definitely understand clicking on him.
Definitely. To be clear, I think he's definitely worth picking in the 5th round. I just the people who are like moving him up in the rankings based on that game, he should have just, in other words, been at that spot the whole time, wherever you have him after that game. But yeah, I gotta say, Team 9 has to be in the running for one of the best receiver lineups in the broader NFFC with Neighbors, St. Brown, and DJ Moore. I really doubt there are more than a couple, if any, teams that have that particular trio.
Yeah, that's a powerful start right there. Definitely like that DJ Moore pick. And Joe Burrow. I was looking at Nick Whalen's RotoWire Online Championship draft board last night. I think Joe Burrow was the first quarterback that went off the board in that one last night. I think that again,
First
like
quarterback
that's
taken?
yes.
Wow. I took him, excuse me, at the turn of the 3rd and the 4th round in mine, which included going ahead of Jaden Daniels. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he was. Yeah, there's no way I would have took him ahead of Josh Allen or Lamar.
I don't like. I know that the 6 points for passing touchdown, I think probably fueled the logic there. And he's, Joe Burrow
Fair
very
enough.
well could throw like 45 passing touchdowns this year. I could definitely see that. But I could also see Jackson and Allen ultimately combining for more total touchdowns than that. So,
Yeah, Lamar already threw for 40 while running for 900 yards or whatever. So the touchdown regression will probably be there for Lamar. You're up, so let's hope not on that count. But yeah, DK Metcalf just went. I have to assume you're looking receiver, right? Because
I
like
am. And,
Kittle's gone.
this has been a nice little run. I mean, a lot of receivers have gone this round, but there's still guys that I really like
Nice.
that are available thanks to Jalen Hurts, Trevion Henderson, and RJ Harvey all going in this round. So do I take the falling knife? That is Rashee Rice. I don't think I'm doing that. I can't do it, and the stakes, they're too high. And I know that this guy has maybe fallen a little flat relative to expectations, even my own expectations. I'm thinking the upside case here. Give me some
Oh,
Jalen
nice.
Waddle. Give me some
I
Jalen Waddle.
I took both Waddle and Rice on my team, John. So not to say you need to do that here. That's early for Laporta, by the way. I think anyway. Like
Yes.
I feel like he goes normally about 12 picks from now. Not that there's anything wrong with the pick, because you got to get your guy. Can't the plan if it goes sideways without the guy, you just got to get him somehow. But yeah, I'm surprised to see Laporta go there. I think like that Kelsey Ingram tier, I often feel this way, but I think that Kelsey Ingram tier, maybe Mark Andrews you can include, is maybe more of the value sweet spot at the moment.
Yeah, I definitely like how those guys project, and especially relative to draft costs. And it could, opportunity wise, end up being not too dissimilar from Laporta. Laporta, probably it, more so in the prime of his career than those guys. And Ingram, maybe you question like how does he fit with Bo Nix and everything. But ultimately, I did feel like I like Sam Laporta in a vacuum, one of my highest drafted players, but yeah,
if you got
probably
points
not right
for
there.
snaps, he'd be like the tight end 2 or something.
Yeah, we had James Conner and Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter leading us off in the 6th round. I'm back up here, guys, and I've got a tough call to make between a couple of receivers. Is again where I'm going to be looking.
I was kind of hoping Olave would, not to assume you would have taken Olave, but I would have thought that would have been a good one there before Team 2 snagged him.
This is tough. This is a big pick. All right, I'm kind of laying it on the line here. Going a little bit ahead of market. I'm going Ricky Pearsall.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know if he would have made it back to your other pick. So
no.
It's only between the likes of him, and I would have been looking at Jacoby Myers too, but Pearsall definitely has a little more big play ability, and I don't know. I can't tell if I'm just being kind of like a truther about Pearsall, but I just really see no reason why he can't be, at the very least, their wide receiver 1 while Ayuk is out. And I don't know how much to take for a given with Ayuk even after he returns. So I think it's even on the table that Pearsall is just kind of the wide receiver 1 more or less the whole year. I don't take that serious. This could just be me being totally wrong, obviously, but I don't take that seriously, the possibility of Jennings being their wide receiver 1. I think he'd be like good, some version of good, but that the stuff that he was doing last year, I just do not think is sustainable. Maybe that's unfair. I don't know.
No, I think that's about right with Jennings. Like Jennings is a player that I love to watch, but for fantasy purposes, I think that there's more reason to buy into what Ricky Pearsall can do for you this year. So, you were right in thinking like I just knew that there was no way Pearsall was going to make it back to me. I was looking pretty hard at Jacoby Myers, but I did notice that he had the same bye week as my wide receiver 1, Jackson Smith and Jigba. So that was like a little bit of a tiebreaker. And then I sort of had like this Terminator 2, like Sarah Connor vision, where like the Raiders offense for some reason just never gets off the ground. It's horrible. I'm at the fence. The nuke has gone off. I'm like on fire and like turning into a skeleton.
The skeleton for some reason is holding onto the fence, even though it was, its muscles have been gone for some time. Terminator 2 rules. That's the one plot hole I think of that entire movie right there. The skeleton successfully gripping to the fence.
That's for like I use that GIF more than like any other GIF, but and I'd never thought about the physics thereof. This may be related to that or not, but our guy Henry in the chat says Mario is my hero. So
I'm sorry about that, Henry. Thank you, though. That's very nice of you.
Let's see here. So that was my thinking on Pearsall versus Myers. I was wondering
Odunze, were you thinking a little bit about Odunze?
I had both Odunze and Jerry Jeudy start as well, actually. So Judy's still available several picks later. So the room seems to be cool on him. I just feel like the Browns, I know that they project for, maybe like the lowest scoring offense in football this year. I think that's totally fair, but I don't know. I feel like they're going to be losing all the time. They're going to have to throw it. And I think like you're going to have like
Flacco
the Joe
starts. If
I think
Flacco
he's going
starts, I definitely think he's starting week 1. The question is like, how long does he start? And if Flacco gets benched, is it, I guess I'd prefer Sanders out of the remainder, but I say that as like maybe the biggest Kenny Pickett hater on earth. And I guess most people would probably say like, well, Pickett's the veteran and I don't, by the way, I don't take seriously this idea that Pickett's actually in contention to start. I don't think that's true. I think if it's the case, if it seems the case that it's like, it's going to be a veteran, then it's just that it's Flacco. And if Sanders and Gabriel are not a consideration to start, that is not to say that Pickett is ahead of. I really think they're going to cut that guy. He already threw a fit when he was a backup for the Steelers, and then he got outplayed by Tanner McKee. So let's just pull the plug on this.
Well, if you ask the Eagles fans, they think McKee would start for like 25 teams. And
Maybe
they're
he
like,
would. I mean, he seems, I guess, I mean, he's, again, better than Pickett. And at the very least, the Browns are probably going to wish that they had Tanner McKee this year.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
wherever that gets them, and it's better than Pickett or Gabriel, that the ridiculous circus. I gotta say, I like the Stephon Diggs pick there. I think he also would have been a suitable option for where you were, but yeah, I guess this is a classic part of the ADP where you kind of wish it was an auction instead, because you'd like to kind of trade back up almost for some of these guys at the rate that they're going. Like, I think Pearsall, Myers, Adunze, Diggs are like very bankable values in this range.
Yeah, no, I've definitely been liking taking Diggs. Like I'm not so worried about him coming off the injury and the age and everything, even though those conventionally are legitimate concerns. I think the Diggs can have like at least one or two more good years in him, and I think it's nice that it's in conjunction with Drake May's second year. I think that he takes a step forward. That offensive line gets a little bit better, and I still don't think that there's no one right now that in that receiver room that's better than Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, and I think the structure of that offense is pretty clearly headed toward a setup where Diggs is largely funneled targets. Like, I don't think he's just going to be like an incidentally busy player this year. I think it's like the way that they're going to space the routes of guys like Butte, Hollins, and Kyle Williams is largely just to free up guys like Diggs and Hunter Henry, and maybe the running backs, Henderson, Stevenson in the flats. So I think he's basically going to get schemed open in a way, and I'd be pretty surprised if Diggs draws less than like a fourth of their targets this year.
Yeah, I would too. So a lot of volume and good volume coming his way. Matthew Golden, another guy who's seems like among the rookies coming out of their preseason debuts. People are. I wasn't really drafting him before. I don't know if it's because he's wearing number 22 as a wide receiver, but hadn't really drafted him much. It's a swagless number for a receiver. What are you doing? So I don't know.
It's a hard thing to figure out, that rotation that LaFleur uses, but I have come around to, especially with Reed having that, with Jaden Reed having that foot thing or whatever it is. I can definitely see how Golden could be ranked ahead of him. Like, I believe that Reed could be a lot more productive, get a lot more opportunities than he has the last 2 years. But it sounds like LaFleur just is not considering it. And more specifically, Reed would need to get some boundary snaps after pretty much only being allowed on the field in the slot to this point. So if Reed can't play the boundary snaps and Golden can, then Golden should play more snaps than Reed.
Ooh, looks like I might be up.
Yeah, they sniped you on Tracy.
That's I'll live with that. All right, this actually ended up working out extremely well. I was looking hard at trying to convince myself on some running backs and receivers, forgetting all the while that my little memento tattoo to myself: don't wait too long to get a tight end.
But which one? Oh, TJ Hawkins.
Oh man,
I like that pick a lot, actually.
I just think for PPR it makes so much sense.
Absolutely. I actually think there's a really good case to put Hawkinson ahead of Laporta in PPR scoring for your rankings, for your projections, whatever, albeit on a lower floor. For durability reasons, I guess you'd probably say Hawkinson has a lower floor. But when Hawkinson's on the field for the Vikings at this point, he's getting a target like every 6 snaps. I mean, he could lead. I mean, he could actually, if Hawkinson stays healthy for 17 games, he could more or less keep the target pace of guys like Bowers and McBride.
Yeah, I just feel like this is an offense that is going to really, really heavily lean on basically just Justin Jefferson and Hawkinson. I know that Addison, when he comes back, will be in the mix and everything like that. But I just feel like that we're going to see like Jefferson with like 30% of the targets, and Hawkinson like pushing probably close to 20, 25% of the targets. And then Addison still projects cleanly there. Oh, dang. I was kind of thinking about Aaron Jones pairing it up, but that might have been a bit of a wonky build. I don't know.
I
But
kind of hate this running back range here. Like this is like after the Pacheco, Swift, Pollard trio, I kind of am out for like a couple rounds personally. I know people are psyched on Caleb Johnson running in molasses 10 times, but I still do not care. I thought that looked bad. I think Warren's pretty clearly the guy there.
I do too.
Also, I got to mention quickly, I thought it was funny how people took that missed tackle from Travis Hunter to say like, oh, see, he's a receiver. Like, do you know who might be the worst tackling cornerback in NFL history?
Deion Sanders.
Yeah, so that's that then.
Is he the worst corner ever? I don't think he was.
I guess he has to move to receiver retroactively to blank all of his defensive stats, please. Mods.
Let's see. I'm one pick away.
I think Downs would have been a nice pick. So that was in PPR. I think, especially if Jones starts most of the year, I think Downs is getting a hundo.
Yeah. Ooh, Coleman. I was considering for the Josh.
I like
Allen.
him a lot more in half point or standard than I do in full point PPR. Honestly, like I think Coleman could catch 10 touchdowns this year, but I think he also might do it on 60 receptions.
Yes. Let's see. All right. Old reliable. Jalen Warren.
That's taking a stand. Sorry if I like peer pressure bullied you into making that pick.
No, I was just having a hard time between receiver and running back, but I think with Coleman coming off the board, it sort of like cleared my vision. It was like, all right, I'm just gonna grab a running back. I think that's the better value, and have that as a flex consideration. Yeah, and like not too many teams have like a week 5 bye. Like I don't know. I feel like
I think Warren's a great even in a week 1 game with a really tough matchup, in my opinion, in the Jets. Like I still think Warren's a totally good flex play in PPR because there are a handful of games this year where he should catch something like 5 or 6 passes. There goes Jaden Reed. Still don't know what to think about that Packers. Other than Jacobs, I guess I don't feel like I can approach that offense.
Yeah, I've almost completely stayed away, and then Jordan Love, his thumb's busted. So
at least it's his left hand. So and he throws knuckleballs anyway, so who cares?
Can be ugly duckling.
I hope he does well this year, but yeah, I'm kind of like back out on Love. I need to see like a little more care in the way that he plays because it's just falling back and knuckleballs just left and right.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty intoxicated with the way that he finished his first season as the starter, like, pushing the 49ers to the brink, like, or the Cowboys game. It's like, dude, like, this guy has figured it out.
If Anders Carlson didn't backstab the state of Wisconsin, we might have an entirely different narrative about Love right now.
Those Carlson brothers, you can't trust them.
Daniel's an insanely good kicker. I don't know why his fail brother can't kick a dang ball. Here goes Andrews. John. There goes your tight end flex lineup. I'm sorry.
Well, little do they know that I
that time there's a couple years ago, Joe Bartle had a tight end flex league where I can't remember if he did it on accident or if he did it on purpose and then immediately regretted it and doubted himself, but his team actually did really well. It's probably not a good general strategy though.
Yeah, if you can like thread that needle somehow, then great. But most of the time, if you run the simulations, it probably not great.
Yeah, so I ATN there to team 9. That might have been who I took, who I might have taken in your spot, John. But I have less ETN this year than I expected I would, and it's because oddly, I just don't have any good sense of like which way that backfield is headed, and I just especially since earlier this offseason, like Tootin was ahead of ETN, and I feel like I saw some people take even like Bigsby ahead of him a few months ago. I'm surprised that ETN is as expensive as he has been. Like I thought, with how badly last year went, and with the various narratives out there about both Bigsby and Tootin, in my opinion, seem to have a lot of like super fans out there. I almost would have expected ETN to go last out of the three, and he instead goes first. And a guy like Jalen Warren, who you took, it's like, yeah, I don't think he can scale up to like a 300 carry back, and I have some amount of concern about Caleb Johnson stealing work, especially I guess rushing touchdowns maybe. But I know Jalen Warren's their passing down back. It doesn't matter what Caleb Johnson does this year. Jalen Warren is their passing down back, and it's going to be that way it's going to be that way until he's on another team, or until that's what it's going to take to get Jalen Warren off the field on passing downs.
That's what I'm thinking too. So we can get. I like the running backs that I have where they are threats in both the run and the passing game. The Gibbs, Kamara, Warren. I'm happy with that as my first three as far as the running backs go. We're seeing a lot of running backs come off the board here. ETN, Joe Mixon falls all the way to this point. Someone finally takes the plunge. Team 10 does. We got Brian Robinson and then Cooper Kupp coming off the board to Team 12 to round out the 8th round. Jordan Mason kicking things off.
I like Mason there. After he's like the other guy along with Warren and ETN that I kind of have circled in that area. And I love Aaron Jones. Like when he was with the Packers, he was awesome. But I thought he really took a step back last year. And Mason, in my opinion, is totally legit. Like we always talk, John, about how like if Jahmyr Gibbs hadn't signed on with Georgia Tech, Jordan Mason might have been like a 3rd round pick or something. And I really do believe that. I think he's going to show this year that he's not just like some system product, some Shanahan merchant.
He is not. He's the real deal, I think. And I think that for the Vikings specifically, I think that he was like a really good complementary addition to like stylistically. It might like tip off the defense what they're doing, depending on who's on the field. But like both are really effective at what they do.
He can be a blitz pickup guy at least. Like I don't know. I don't have a good sense of whether Mason has developmental potential as a pass catcher. But as long as you can pick up the blitz after the play action fake, you can get some some element of surprise going.
True. That's a good point. Charbonnet, what was
Walker team gets Charbonnet.
Bold. They love that Seattle backfield. So,
I mean, if as much as I expressed those concerns about Walker before, and that I don't have Walker exposure, if you ask me if I'd pay a 4th and a 9th for Walker and Charbonnet, that's a different situation entirely, because it's my whole concern, my whole reason for avoiding Walker in the first place, I am now pretty much immune to in that case.
True. So it is kind of a pricey insurance policy, but one that I think you're gonna get the production there, but it's like unfortunate that like it's gonna take one of them being injured basically for the other one to truly flourish. Christian Kirk comes off the board. That's unfortunate. Pick. Yeah, I was actually gonna get ready to click on that one. So kind of back to the drawing board. In the meantime, our guy Easy wants to know our opinion on Judkins right now.
And you're up again, John, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so sorry to have to pretty much punt on the Judkins thing, but I have no idea. I don't know how anyone really could, unless they are in I don't know, I guess Judkins' legal team agent if he has one. I don't know. But I will say, as much as I have no idea, I think there's clearly more precedent for Judkins playing this year than not. And I've seen some people suggest that he just won't sign with the Browns entirely. I don't know why any of that would happen when what happened last year with Michael Hall did as it did. He missed 5 games, I believe. And his arrest was plenty bad sounding too. Like I think that's definitely domestic violence arrest is definitely one of those things you shouldn't paraphrase from hazy memory.
Right.
But yeah, it was something bad with Hall, bad enough. And I know the Judkins thing is really bad too. But the idea that he's just gonna like never play is, if it's completely unprecedented. There's no basis at all for suggesting that other than like maybe there's, I guess maybe because maybe someone is suggesting like he's got like more details that are going to come out. I don't know. It doesn't seem like that's it to me. So I'm assuming he's going to play like half the year or something.
Okay, so like obviously more likely the second half of the
Yes,
season.
not
So
the first half.
that makes it additionally tricky in a league like this where you manage it. Can you really feel good about like holding on to like a roster spot for sure is not going to do anything for you for the first half of the season or so. We've got a double tap quarterback from Team One there, Knicks and Kyler Murray coming out.
I like having the quarterback certainty in a format like this. Not to say you have to take Allen or Lamar or whatever, but and not to say people smarter than me can't execute a streaming strategy at quarterback. I just I like to keep those kinds of quarterbacks on my best ball teams.
Yeah, because they're like too similar. It's like too hard to pick between the two of them.
Yeah, and if it's like they're both going against a good defense or bad defense, it's like how do you break the tie, and how do you break the tie in a way that doesn't just result in bench points because of like you don't know. It's just too easy to for the projections to go like a little bit sideways, but to a great cost to your team because it's like 12 bench points here and there is a lot over the course of the head-to-head season.
I wonder if the chat is yelling at me for being a donkey for letting Team Two basically get the Bills stack with both Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir. But my conscience is clear, folks. I really don't mind. I'm going to get my stacking partner.
You're doing the Ravens stack, yeah.
Here it is.
Stack them both. I didn't mean to skip the Scatabo pick either. I think Higgins is a nice pick. Even though I like Kirk, even though I love Nico Collins, I also like Higgins more than Keenan Allen, in fact. But John, the Scatabo pick, I like it, even though people are kind of down on him lately. I will say I wish he would get back in camp.
I paid full freight for sure.
No, I don't even think so. I think at the end of the 9th round, I mean, I think there is a huge gap between Scatabo and Sampson personally. Like, so Sampson was the next running back taken. Decent enough prospect, but I think he's basically Kenny Gainwell, but without the hands or worse pass blocking, something like that. Scatabo is a weird category at the moment where like he's either a 0 or he is something that's probably substantial. Like he's either he's a 0 because Singletary and Tracy are getting all the reps, or he's getting snaps and he's already like forcing various issues. And I do think Scatabo is clearly one of those guys. Like if he gets on the field, he's going to keep getting back on the field. Like once he's getting his foot in the door, that's not the kind of guy who slips and fades into the background. So I think Tracy almost fumbled in that Bills preseason game, by the way. Fumbled last year too much. Doesn't have any anchor to him as a runner. Like he's pretty good in the open field. He's a bit of a slasher, but on those short yardage, so to say goal line carries, Scatabo is clearly the better player. And I think that'll come out eventually. And I think it'll become clear too, eventually, that he's a better receiver than Tracy. So Tracy, I think, is going to play plenty, but Scatabo, he can kind of be that same, second half. So it's like, if you're concerned about Judkins not playing this year, take Scatabo instead, because like he won't be suspended in the second half of the year for sure. And I think those flaws with Tracy, those strengths of Scatabo are more likely to have fully, materialized by then.
Yeah. So dang it, Drake May just went. I was kind of hoping that he'd come back my way.
One quarterback, John. One quarterback. No other quarterbacks exist. But yeah,
I might follow that, honestly.
I think I actually think going one quarterback and just taking an extra running back makes plenty of sense. Because you get as much as a lot, it makes totally good sense too to take a decent backup or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's a good chance, not to jinx it or whatever. I think there's a good chance over the course of a NFFC season, you see a guy like Geno Smith on waivers at some point, and like that's if you only need what Geno Smith for 1 week, it's like that'd be maybe that's a little bit of too good case of a scenario. But if that's how it were played, I'd love that. Just. Not that I know who the Raiders play in week 7, but who cares if you don't have to pay for the privilege. And more importantly yet, it's just about getting that handcuff running back without having to pay the fab price, right? Like that's the real reason, the real concern pursuit here.
I respect that strategy a lot, and yeah, I think generally speaking, like I respect the teams that didn't touch quarterback until the 10th round, and I think that and it'll be interesting to see like who flinches between myself and Team Two, with their second quarterback,
Yeah.
because you paid
Benson, that is a nice pick. Sorry to interrupt, John, but like, don't take Jaden Blue over Trey Benson, you guys. Sorry, Team 12. You can do it.
I'm big on Trey Benson this year. I think that it's fair to just if you were to like only look at the rookie year numbers and then you look at James Conner and you're like, well, where's he fit in? But I just think that Conner, the effectiveness comes back down a little bit this year. I think we're entering that stage of his career. Unfortunately, I think that durability concerns. I have some questions there.
Cardinals
and I think
have to
Benson's
run.
really good. And yes,
Cardinals
they
can't
do.
throw the ball much. Their wide receiver 3 is Greg Dortch. You're gonna run it. That's what you're gonna do when Greg Dortch is your wide receiver 3.
And Michael Wilson is just kind of a blocking guy or two, right? So
Michael Wilson would be the perfect wide receiver 3. If they had drafted like Arian Smith or something, I'd be like, actually, the Cardinals are nuts. Marvin Harrison is going off this year, but instead they went with Greg Dortch, and they said, Marvin Harrison, you're going to continue playing the Darius Slayton role. That's why we took you 3rd overall or whatever.
Oh.
That's pretty late for Ayuk, I feel like, and especially when Mooney, who went a few picks earlier, like the coach said something kind of disturbing about Mooney and his shoulder injury, like he might be out a decent number of weeks. So yeah, I know Mooney's a pretty good player, but I feel like Ayuk's upside is still substantially higher if he's anywhere back to his normal abilities.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
I guess with Burden too, I guess like I'd much rather have Ayuk, I think.
Yeah, no, I would too. And this is the time to get him. I mean, I think if Ayuk's fully healthy, he's going 5 rounds earlier than this. So like
and if I don't know, I think that San Francisco defense is going to take a step back this year.
Yes.
So I could see Shanahan. I could see Purdy having the highest pass attempt number for a Shanahan quarterback going, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years or something.
Dang, that would be a lot of opportunities in that case. We got Isaac Guerrero also going off the board.
The most injured man of all time. I love Guerrero, but man, he had the shoulder is the latest thing with him. It's like, how does he do it?
It's remarkable.
He's in the body cast 24/7.
Yep. As of August 4th, Kyle Shanahan said that Guerendo's shoulder is expected to miss a couple weeks. So,
right. Maybe they're just making up a shoulder injury so he like can just rest and not injure his hamstrings again.
Ooh, that's early for Woody Marks, I feel like, but yeah, I love it.
I like Chubb in this range, honestly. I mean, I think Chubb's going to play more than Marks and Pierce, but Marks, that's pretty high. I guess it could work, but he needs to catch passes for sure. But yeah, so far in this round, the running back value went with Ray Davis. Nice. The big value in the steal at running back in this round was Benson, but I think it's obvious. Like if Cook were to miss any time, Ray Davis would probably go nuts right away.
Yep.
I mean, even with Cook extended, I think Davis is going to play more this year than he did last year. It's just makes too many good things happen, and he gives them a little bit different of an element. That anchor. I probably would have taken Stevenson, John. I forgot about him though.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just I guess it depends on what you're looking, because like the upside is higher with Davis, because not that we want to think about it, but if Cook missed a given game, it's like Davis could get 20 carries and 3 or 4 catches or something, whereas Stevenson, I like him still. I think he's good, but I don't think Henderson missing time really like does anything for him. I think he's kind of more like just a flex play, whereas you might already have your flex guy accounted for.
All right, I'm this one maybe a touch ahead of market. Oh no, he's way ahead, but other people are going. All right.
Draft your board, John.
Draft my boy.
More ADP. Yeah, that's I mean, oh yeah, you missed Braylon Allen, John. Demario Douglas,
no.
though, I do think is pretty interesting because so these reports about him doing so well in training camp this year, they're not new. Like it happened last year in his rookie year too. The problem was their offensive line was woeded last year, and they couldn't run basic plays. Like they couldn't run pass plays, especially 3-4 wide type pass plays. They just couldn't do it. So much of the time Douglas, and not that I see why he needs to only be in the slot. Like if you're only running 2 wide sets and it means you can't play Douglas, I'd say they'll just put him just give him the boundary snaps. Then just do it. Okay, he's like 5'8", 185 too. He's actually pretty well built. He's not like 5'8", 165 or something. He's no Tutu Atwell or whatever. So I think Douglas should have just been playing anyway. But whatever the case, now that they have the offensive line like working its way toward viability, in my opinion, with the offense going good places with Drake May in general, like they're going to start getting those 3 wide sets more. And Douglas, if he gets those reps, like he's going to get the targets. It's a when, not if thing. The if is the snap count.
True. And I think, as the year, plays on, I think that he is their second best receiver right now. So like you said, just figure a way to get him on the field. You don't want to like overexpose Kyle Williams right away necessarily, but I don't know. Like
he's doing
I think
distance. Yeah, like Butte and Kyle Williams are doing distance running pretty much. Unless Diggs gets hurt, then they'll reconfigure things. But honestly, it sounds like Demario Douglas might be their best pure route runner. It's just that he's not likely to play as many snaps as Stephon Diggs, so Diggs will end up with more targets.
Yeah. But I wanted to, we're kind of at the part of the draft. Like we've filled out our starting lineup. We've got, our bench coming together now. And it's like, I want to get some good players, some players that I really like feel strongly about this year, and like and kind of get ahead of some runs and not be pinched into a spot where like I have to take Wan'Dale Robinson or something like that, where it's like, I don't want to do that. Gosh, who was I know you've been out of the fantasy baseball game for a little while, but like there was a couple years ago, this outfielder for the Mariners, he was the de facto. If you just didn't have anyone on your team with steals, you ended up drafting this guy and just hoping that he would just do all your steals for you.
Let me give you a reference from when I was still playing. D. Gordon.
Very similar, yeah, like a D. Gordon-esque type of guy. Like that's what Wan'Dale is. Like it's like I just want a ton of 5-yard catches. That's what I need.
I need 75 5-yard catches, no more, no less.
To spam it. So I don't want to be in that position. I've got I don't know, at receiver. I just felt like it was time to go the Pop Douglas route. Now running back gets a little bit hairy here for this next little bit, and then you start to kind of get your spec guys. Although I think with Woody Marks going in the 11th, I think all bets are off.
Back. Yeah, I mean, no one's taken Chubb, right? Did I miss something? He has like a concussion or something right now, but like, anyway, I think Chubb,
he's available.
Yeah, I think Chubb. If Mixon's out, Chubb's starting on that team. I don't know, but it's the one thing that can be a little stressful with the NFFC stuff, if you don't keep it in mind, is definitely like the defense and kicker stuff. I've been doing more best ball drafts on NFFC, so I try to do this thing where I get 3 kickers and 3 defenses both on their 30 round best ball. So I'm like oversensitive to it, if anything. But yeah, seeing Brandon Aubrey, sorry to digress a bit. Yeah. We can already say Brandon Aubrey and Cam Little, 2 best kickers in NFL history. They're the best ones. No kickers are as good as those 2. So yeah, Brandon Aubrey going off the board to team 12. Man, I had him a couple of years ago on a team, and it actually it mattered a lot. You get like 20-point weeks from your kicker. It's like, what the hell's going on?
I mean, that rocks. That's amazing.
Yeah, so him and Cam Little though, that Jags one, it's like the 70-yarder. He was awesome last year too. Like he was just mashing.
He's an Arkansas boy, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yeah, it's not as good of a story as like Aubrey not being allowed to kick field goals in college and then turning out to be this, but it is pretty crazy to see. Like, I mean, if Cam Little was always able to kick 70-yarders, why wasn't he the kicker who goes in like the 3rd round or whatever? How come it's always these Moody types? It's like these guys who are like eking out 51-yarders who go in the 3rd round.
That was quite an unnecessary pick, and he just looks so dang like nervous every time he's like lining up.
You feel bad for him. It's like once he got picked, it's like he knew it. He's like, oh god, they're gonna. I'm not even that bad of a kicker, but now I'm all psyched out and like I don't even want this. I wanted to be an anonymous kicker, not 3rd round pick kicker that everyone hates because he's only the 17th best kicker.
Why'd they put this on me?
So there goes Judkins. Who knows how much he'll play, but when I guess the line I personally would draw with Judkins' pessimism is him going after Najee Harris personally. When it's like, I know Najee Harris is doing some drills. I know Najee Harris is doing some drills and stuff, but like, I don't know. I bet getting hit can kind of shake up the whole eye a little bit. I don't know. I'm not taking anything for solid there either. And at least if Judkins is on the team, he's starting for them. I'm sorry, it's open and shut. Like, just he punched that woman, but he's still very talented, and the Browns are still going to try to get something out of him.
Yeah, I mean they spent the draft pick. Like, yeah,
Team 4, you're breaking my balls. This is terrible. They're taking the trifecta of like my false sleepers. They're just trying to make me tilt. I think
you're right.
So I'm going in my Blair Witch kind of.
Just standing in the corner.
Here. Well, no, I mean like just like when it gets dark here, I don't have a light in this room, so you just get the glare. It just turns into like the glint of my glasses and nothing else on screen. But yeah, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is he's not going to play this year. The hype with him is getting completely out of hand. It's pretty crazy.
All right, this is. I don't love it, but I'm going for it. Well, Cedric Tillman.
You didn't take Cam Little there. All right.
Just guessing.
Well, I don't know what I'm here for. But Tillman, yeah, he's a weird guy, but he's had a few really good games for fantasy purposes. Like, I feel like he's got at least a few like 6-catch games, and he was more productive initially at Tennessee than Jalen Hyatt was.
Yeah, he was a much bigger deal than Hyatt was until
the injuries, whatever those were. So, yeah, I always forget. I kind of forget to remember about Tillman every so often, but there's nothing really to dislike about him.
Yeah, and like if ultimately like the Browns offense looks like
pick.
What
a good pick.
I was thinking about that too. If like the Browns are like really pass happy to at least like start the year, maybe you can squeeze like a good week or two out of Tillman if need be.
The last time Stefanski had Flacco, there were these bizarre like 40 pass attempt games they'd have, and that's when Njoku would go really nuts too. So yeah, if Flacco's starting, it's like all three of those Browns, Judy, Njoku, Tillman, they should all pretty easily clear their ADP costs in terms of like value returned.
That's what I'm interested in. So
Amari Cooper earlier in that round, I'm wondering is he gonna who's hurt right now? Somebody's got to have. He's got to sign with somebody, right? Like if Keenan Allen, if 39-year-old Keenan Allen is getting signed by the Chargers, surely 33-year-old. I know. I don't know how old either of them actually are, but Cooper's better, is what I'm getting at.
I do agree with that. I think Keenan Allen is 33. He's an old 33 though. I'll
33 and a half in October. Yeah.
What did we got? Okay.
But yeah, Krosky Merritt going ahead of Eckler is that's just bonkers. I'm sorry. Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback 3 this year, behind Lamar and Josh Allen.
Decent value. Gonna. All right, this one, another kind of like hoping that injuries clear up in time, but I like how Roshan Johnson projects this. I'm just kind of like out on DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, I have no idea what to make of the Bears off. I mean, I have my certain ideas of who the various players in the Bears offense are and who Ben Johnson might be as a head coach, but that backfield, I really don't get I have no reliable sense. Even something is like trying to make the Gibbs Montgomery analog happen. I just don't know if we can take that for a given either. Like maybe it's going to be more like an incoherent rotation between like Swift and Munenjai and Roshan. But I guess if it is a Gibbs and Montgomery analog, then Munenjai doesn't really. I guess he doesn't really fit either category, but he's definitely not a Montgomery. You know, even though I like Munenjai, he's like right around 200 or something. So he can be a little slippery, and he sets a pretty good anchor, but he doesn't really like overpower people.
No, so I think that would be therefore the Roshan. I just, the more I think about the Bears this year, the more I'm kind of thinking it's not going to like work out that great as far, at least
they'll start slow. Yeah. And I think Johnson, I mean, who knows? A guy like Shane Steichen has been, disappointing to me after I think doing a really good job as an offensive coordinator. But at the very least, I would be shocked if Ben Johnson really believed this stuff that he was saying about EPA and stuff. I think he was just kind of I think he was just kind of playing dumb more or less. And I think he so if Ben Johnson truly believed the things that he was saying about EPA this offseason, he would be almost per se Mike Martz 2.0. And being Mike Martz 2.0 more specifically to me means throwing the ball 50 times a game no matter what. And just when people say like, why'd you throw it 50 times? You lost again. You just go, you put it, you take out your calculator, you point at it, and you say like, actually, it was the smart thing to do. Look at this, whatever, type something in it. And people for a while with Martz were like, oh, he does have that calculator. Who are we to argue? And then after however many times they lost, they eventually started to kind of hold his feet to the fire a little. And Mark Trestman had a similar problem, I think, as a Bears coach, throwing the ball too much. But Ben Johnson, I think probably has some ideological like he's ideologically inclined along the way Dan Campbell is. It's not like Dan Campbell forced him to do this run heavy offense with the Lions. I think Ben Johnson probably sees the game similarly, and like that means it in my opinion anyway, that would mean they might kind of have a primitive offense deliberately to start the year, because like their schedule is, if I remember right anyway, their schedule is tougher to start, like the Vikings in week 1, right? So that's not fun. So stuff like that, it's like you want to almost keep the offense primitive or simple, so they can't not too ambitious, so you don't give Caleb Williams too many like advanced assignments when he's still kind of like trying to get the offense down. And that's a totally like remade offensive line. Those guys haven't played together before, so
right.
I think it makes sense for the Bears to take it like at a deliberate pace, if you don't want to call it a slow pace. And I think that means a lot of running in addition to everything else.
And therefore, like I don't think that Swift can do that. And then also, or at least so well. So enough to the point where like no other running back is mixing in, and I don't, I don't know, man. Like I was pretty discouraged by what we saw from Caleb Williams last year to the point where I've kind of like reframed my expectations on him a little bit. And, I do wonder if it's going to ultimately work out. I mean, like we've seen just really bad rookie seasons kind of tank guys before. So I'm not totally throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I
I
know that
think he'll be
last
all
year was
right. I mean, there's a pretty big, especially for fantasy purposes. I think that you only really need to be top 15-ish to kind of, especially when you're running as much as he does, you're kind of in the conversation then. And I think I think you could really say Caleb Williams had an okay rookie year. It's just relative to expectations, it was hideously disappointing.
sure.
And so much of that, in my opinion, was specifically the disappointment of the Bears at large. And like that whole team was quitting on that Goober Aberflus. It was a circus. Like I don't think it's a coincidence, John. I don't think it's a fluke that the two most ridiculous coaching staffs of NFL history have occurred in the last 3 years. Urban Meyer and Aberflus. It's everything is literally getting worse all the time. Hiring procedures, cronyism, just institutional decay. It's all getting worse. So in a way, we need to be on the lookout for the third worst, or maybe like the next of the three worst coaching staffs in NFL history to pop up any second. But I don't think it'll be Ben Johnson. I think they'll probably trend towards something that's more along like average or whatever, and it'll be a little disappointing. But I don't think Caleb will be like a bust of a quarterback.
I hope you're right. Some of the stuff that was concerning at USC and Oklahoma, where it's like he's just always trying to do way too much. Like if they can somehow get that dialed in, so he's making decisions quicker and not just like always trying to win
He
the
needs to
game
stop
on a single
screwing
throw.
around.
Yeah,
That's what Ben Johnson needs to say. Like, stop
quit
screwing around. You're screwing around too much.
You're screwing around.
But yeah, he was definitely screwing around too much.
Shout out to the woodshop class guy from South Park.
Yeah, whatever his name was.
Oh, wasn't it? It was Richard.
It is. Yeah, that sounds right.
Dang it! Oh, the Vikings just weren't or wanted the Vikings.
You were going to curse Caleb for good. You're going to place the.
Yeah, I'm gonna send the boy right to hell. Let's see. Is there any defense worth taking? Not with this pick.
Ravens.
I mean, that's a good one.
That's my defense one. Honestly, their corner rotation is sick now. If Jair plays like 5 games, best defense of all time.
I'm just worried that like they're gonna like be a little bit shootout prone this year, just because like the schedule, especially like up top, is crazy. Like you got the Bills, the Bengals, Chiefs, Lions. Like
I think they're that. I mean, granted, the edge rush is still somehow a little disappointing. It's like not since Suggs have they had a sick edge rush. But the corners, man, I don't know if Alexander stays healthy, it's like they can just cover forever.
Yeah, love the corner personnel. But yeah, maybe Mike Green is an answer. And
right, yeah, I always forget about him because he's kind of like a bad guy, but
he is
should be a good player, I guess.
Yeah, my
that worked out so well for the kicker.
Gosh, that persona non grata. They had to scrub so many Royal Farms advertisement billboards around Baltimore after that. But
that whole Marvel movie where he was like the one no one cared about, that he was doing some ad campaign dressing up as the guy. I don't.
Oh my god!
I never learned what it was. I'd like change the channel faster than it took for me to read it.
Good. Let's see here. So
team one watching the broadcast.
Yeah, they're on stream here.
Man, it gets really dark in here. Sorry if that's creeping anyone out. It's not a bit. Are you still thinking defense, John?
I am.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think Jets. Actually, I was gonna say I can't think of one, but if you don't want to take one here and you want to go cheap, I think the Trey Harris this late is too late. Actually, I forgot that he was in the league apparently. Yeah, that's gonna be a good pick probably.
Defense like the Jets. Not to
They go
put the
later
cart
is the
before the
thing.
horse, right? So I might not
So
have to do
I
that.
get them for cheap, but Aaron Glenn is gonna have he's gonna have them busting heads for sure. The Chargers, maybe? I don't know. I can't. Last year I took the Chargers because they had some crap week 1 matchup, but no, I don't. I think they got the Chiefs this year.
Yeah, no, I like the Chargers defense. Do you take multiple? No, it's just 20 rounds. Okay. Yeah, that is an interesting.
It's worth some. Honestly, I think there's as much reason to take a second defense as a second quarterback when you have a quarterback like Lamar, because then you can truly, either play the matchups however long you feel like between the two defenses, or just cut, or you could just cut the second one that you're using to basically avoid the Chiefs. If you feel like avoiding the Chiefs in week 1, I mean, I don't know, they won't have Rice. Their offense is kind of.
Yeah, I'm not that scared of the Chiefs right now. Famous last words, but
yeah, I find it a little easier to stream defenses than quarterbacks, honestly, because when you get like a total goofball quarterback to go against your defense, it's like, that guy's probably not going to have the only good game of the year against that defense of yours,
Yeah, because you're using a defense that was drafted within the confines of a fantasy draft. Like you're not rolling out like the 30-second. Like you're not playing the Panthers defense out there.
Yeah, I do think the 49ers have kind of. I think they're on a descent defense wise, but who knows? Michael Williams could go. I mean, I think he'll turn a corner eventually.
I think with the Niners last year, like that was sort of like a reason to be concerned about them going into the year. And I think like kind of a sneaky reason why the year was so bad. Like everyone obviously like points to the injuries to the star players.
They have no
on
depth
offense,
anywhere.
No.
A receiver, I guess they kind of do when they're not all hurt, but even they're
they can't get that part right either.
Yeah, I do think Blake Corum is a really good pick in this round. I know there's been a very default assumption in a lot of fantasy media, like, well, they drafted Hunter, so he's the backup now. And I missed the memo or the conference where we determined all these rules, John. I'm not familiar with that one. I'm not familiar with the rule that if you draft a running back in the 4th round, they have to be ahead of the guy that you took in the 3rd round last year, or whatever other variations of these rules there are. I didn't know about them. I think Blake Corum's pretty clearly going to be the backup to Kyren Williams, and I think it's also pretty clearly true too that there's a really good chance Blake Corum ends up being better than Kyren Williams. Blake Corum's rookie year was disappointing, but go look at Kyren Williams' rookie year. It was not better. So Corum is bigger and faster, even though he is small and kind of slow. Hunter is the fast one of the 3, of course, and he's also the most powerful runner of the 3, but he's kind of just a bull in a china shop, and that's McVay hates that. So I don't think Hunter's hardly going to play at all. He's definitely not going to play on passing downs or base package plays.
No. Yeah. I mean, it's like, did we just learn this lesson last year when it comes to Jarquez Hunter versus Blake Corum? Like it kind of takes a while to get into the McVay circle of trust, it feels like.
Yeah, especially for passing down purposes. I mean, McVay is he's completely neurotic about it. And the neurosis that leads him to cling to Kyren Williams like this is the same one that led him to keep Sony Michel on the field for like 50 snaps a game. It's like whatever reason he has is just a bad one. but yeah, he has that decision making. He is at that switch. So if you don't meet his if you don't massage his neuroses, you don't get to play.
And therefore, a riskier type of pick there.
I really like some of these, like Thielen there and Harris in the last round are two really good receiver values, I think.
We got our
Taj
guy Keaton Mitchell, of course.
I was hoping Taj would make it to you.
That would have been nice.
Not to assume you would have taken him, but he's. I'm the pride, the fury is back, and now that Zach Moss has been cut, it's like we're right back to Taj Brooks' propaganda campaign.
Let's go. I mean, I have Taj Brooks to thank for a college football best ball team last year, like finishing in the top 10 in the overall.
Awesome. Hell yes.
The guy was just such a machine every single week, just printing yards, printing touchdowns. And like
25, 150, 25, 150.
Just like clockwork, just like absolutely bulldozing these crappy Big 12 defenses. It was it was beautiful.
Just slapping these Big 12 bozos. Let's see. You got are you in the no one has taken the second best kicker in NFL history yet. They've taken the best one, and then there's no second kicker taken, right? That's correct.
Yeah, there's only one purple square on the board so far.
All right, so maybe a little bit of a reach there, especially since again Cam Little is on the board, and the Jags will only suck on defense this year. Like they'll be pretty good on offense. So actually, their defense might be okay. DeAndre Hopkins. All right, so you're back up, John.
That's right.
Marshawn Lloyd just went. Extreme 20th type round option at running back is Emmanuel Wilson, who I actually expect to, I don't know, just still be the backup over Marshawn Lloyd at this point, the direct backup to Josh Jacobs. So
I'm going to take one that I'm pretty much foregoing any profit from this pick, but that's okay. I like Ollie Gordon this year.
I have no idea what to make of that ridiculous. Well, I think they're going to be really bad, is what I think about the Dolphins. But more specifically, I don't know where they get Gordon on the field. Mike McDaniel to this point has kind of been loath to feature a power element. It's like when they were the closest they got to trying to make a power run game was like with Jeff Wilson. So like a 6', 207 pound running back was their bruiser. So I still like Mike McDaniel, but I think he is completely flustered, and I think he is just feels like he can't even like keep his head above the water right now. And I don't know. I'm worried about my guy getting kind of like fired in the middle of the season or something, and who knows all the kind of dysfunction that might cause. But I will say Ollie Gordon kind of got a raw deal this past year. Him falling to the 7th or 6th or whatever it was. Like I really don't think he's that much different of a prospect than Caleb Johnson. And I would say that as like Gordon should have gone earlier than the 6th, not that Johnson should have gone in the 6th also. Yeah,
I mean, I just feel like if you flip Gordon's like final 2 years in college, like he definitely gets drafted higher. I know like the workout metrics.
Games, John, it's like a couple games like Caleb Johnson had, like his biggest games in September and October. It's like a couple games like that for Gordon would have totally changed people's narrative on him. But yeah, instead it's just he's a bum because he only had one 1,700 yard season or whatever.
And I mean, he was so good that year, and like I don't know, like Oklahoma State generally.
Cameron Dicker is a great pick too, but you got the second best kicker, John. So I think we can kind of call off this league.
We're done. It's a wrap.
But you can try to solicit a buyout, maybe for a partial.
A pity.
Yeah. Get a $5 gift card to
someplace.
Quick Trip with a K.
Yeah. Man, I went to Quick Trip this morning, John, to try to fill up the tire in my car, which the tire pressure light went off, and I was like, oh, cool. And I went to the gas station to use the tire thing, and it wouldn't go back to where it was supposed to. And then I noticed there was a nail and a hissing sound coming out of where the nail was on my tire. I was like, oh, good. So that's my Quick Trip story. True story from today. To be clear, the tire things work. My tire had a hole in it though, so it couldn't keep the air.
It is tough when you've got a hole in your tire like that, no doubt. Yeah, flat tire, buzzkill. I had a tire blowout on me one time on Interstate 85. That was terrifying.
I don't know where that is. Is that like the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Road?
No, I was like,
how about that? How about if your tire exploded on that friggin' thing?
That would be that's probably the worst place for it to happen.
Yeah, on Earth.
You just fly off the bridge. Not good.
You have to take your exit.
Boy, like a final destination exit. But no, the I-85 is like it runs down the East Coast. I was in South Carolina the middle of summer with my crappy like 2001 Honda Civic. This is back when I was in college, and boy, that sucked.
Have you ever seen those? Have you ever seen those Conor O'Malley videos where he's like yelling at the cars on the New Jersey Turnpike and stuff?
Yeah,
that's another case of a person being in a road, stuck in a road. Although by choice, I guess in his case.
Yeah, those videos are so good.
Oh yeah, Conor O'Malley's the best in the game.
Facts. And coming to an end here, are you surprised that the Cam Ward lasted this long?
Not especially. I think a guy like Ward or Bryce Young or Penix, whoever, McCarthy, in a league like this, there's a really good chance they're getting cut before October because first injury hits, it's that kind of player you're looking at cutting to pick up a replacement. So I don't know. Especially as like a third quarterback, I probably wouldn't have made that pick. In this round, I like two rookie receivers, though, not to totally change the subject, but Jalen Noel and Torrey Horton. They're both like lottery ticket types, especially Noel, because you need one of those other three guys to get hurt. But Nico's been hurt a lot. Christian Kirk's been hurt quite a bit. It's pretty easy, I think, to imagine Noel getting a shot, and he's really good, in my opinion. And Horton, I've hated so many things the Seahawks have done, but credit to them for drafting him. Not that they should have gotten the chance at all in the 5th round, but they're also giving it sounds like giving Horton a real chance to play over Marquez Valdes-Scantling, which a lot of times teams are dumb about that kind of stuff, but it sounds like the Seahawks are actually going to give Horton some snaps this year, and he's I think he's a good player.
He's awesome. Like it's so weird, like in this day and age where like these guys are in college for so long that like conventionally what we used to care about for receiver prospect rankings is like how early did they break out, and like after which year did they enter the NFL draft. And it's like Horton had some promising stuff. Like his rookie year at Nevada, he kind of got on my radar. I loved that team with Carson Strong and Romeo Dobbs. I was like, hey, they've got like this other guy,
Elijah Cooks.
That's right, dude.
Jags practice squad, I think.
So then he like goes to Colorado State, has a couple great seasons. Then this past year, what was it, like his 5th year in college? Like that year doesn't go great, and at that point, I'm just like, what do I do with this guy? Like I knew that like the talent was absolutely there, but how's it going to translate, and how much of a chance is he going to get as a 5th round guy? But Seattle is pretty thin at receiver. Like once you get past Cup, and
they need speed, and while MVS has speed, he has no hands or route running ability. Horton does. I was worried he'd be like, usually with guys like Horton, the way they kind of fizzle before the NFL is that they're not athletic enough for their game to translate. But then he ran that 4.41, and I was like, all right, I guess I don't know what I'm worried about anymore. Like he just seems to check all the boxes.
He does. So I think that he's making that requisite amount of noise, and I think I wouldn't have quibbled with anyone taking him even earlier than where he went.
Yeah. Do you know, John? Not to get self sniped here, but are you looking at any other? You need one. Oh no, you don't need. You got your kicker in your defense. Are you looking at any particular position here?
I could probably strengthen my tight end group, but I don't know if I like the options. That got my eye on one guy, and then I have a handful of receivers that I was also considering.
Jordan James showing up with the Noah Gray picture briefly there. That's kind of funny.
Oh, I'm up.
You are, yeah. Can't take Jordan James though.
Oh, and the Jets defense went off. Okay. All right. That stratifies things a little bit.
There he is.
I'm like oddly biffed for week 14, but that's a week 14 problem.
Yeah. I do think the Panthers are oddly crowded at receiver right now, but I definitely I saw some fantasy media or something was saying like Jalen Coker might not make the team actually because of I guess Hunter Renfrow. And it's like I really doubt that. I don't think you're going to cut Coker because of a reclamation project. And Coker was really good last year and was really good in college. I think he's the next guy up after Thielen in the slot, and Thielen's 34 or 35 or something.
Yeah, I just feel like it's like if they cut him,
they're not gonna. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It was a case of people doing too much of that rep reading, trying to look into like this guy's getting first team reps or like this guy got reps ahead of this guy, and that like people make all kinds of wild conclusion based on like little not pertinent details. There goes Elijah Arroyo, so you can't take that tight end. And how about Abdul Carter? I wrote off that Giants defense, but maybe he's gonna.
It might be nice. Just the offense is gonna put them on the field so much.
Yeah.
I say as I was like really considering taking Theo Johnson. All right. No, I can't take.
Are you looking receiver or running back or tight end?
Oh, there's the answer.
There it is.
There we go.
Oh yeah, there you go. I love Jonathan Taylor, but I am always worried about him getting hurt. And Giddens seems like he's pretty locked in as the running back too there.
Yeah, like just kind of plug and play type of dude. I think that Jonathan Taylor's gonna have a monster year. Like I had a hard time not picking him in the second round here tonight, but yeah, we're talking about 20th round. You're talking about contingent upside. Like none of these guys conventionally have roles right now, but it's like what can they do if they do end up getting a role? And I think that Giddens pretty promising what we saw from him at K-State. So I'm willing to take yield plunge. But yeah, that wraps up or rounds out my team at the very least. So to run it back for everybody, picking from the third spot in a third round reversal, full point PPR, got Jahmyr Gibbs as my first pick. Or I'll go by position group. Yeah, I got Lamar Jackson as my quarterback, Jahmyr Gibbs and Alvin Kamara as my starting running backs, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jalen Waddle, Ricky Pearsall as my wideouts, TJ Hawkinson as my tight end. We've got Jalen Warren in the flex, Jaguars kicker Cam Little, shout out 70 yards.
Kicker ever.
We got the Chargers defense, which I looked on RotoWire.com of all places. They do have a defensive rating metric, and I sorted by it was like a holistic team efficiency thing They got adjusted offense. They got adjusted defense. According to us, the Chargers have the 5th best adjusted defensive efficiency. So I was like, you know what? Good enough
Best
for me.
pick in the draft, Jamari Caldwell, Chargers, 3rd round, best pick in
Love
the whole
that.
draft. Yeah.
The whole dang thing. My bench options: Cam Scadaboo, Rashad Bateman, Ray Davis, Demario Douglas, Cedric Tillman, Roshan Johnson, Isaiah Likely. I can't stop drafting him. Ollie Gordon, Jalen Coker, and DJ Giddens. So I think I like my team. I think leaving this particular exercise every single year, you feel a little bit like you got roughed up, like you got kicked in the teeth a little bit. That was certainly the case on some instances, but I think for the most part, kind of followed a roadmap that I envisioned with this particular draft slot. So I think I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, the important thing is you had a theory of how the build is supposed to work, and a coherent one where it's Alvin Kamara is running back 2 and so on. And we can be wrong about various things, but with the logic written, as intended, it actually adds up. And so I think you got to play it smart and fab as always. Like it's just the beginning of the grind, but I think you give yourself a good starting point.
I'm into it. All right. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you joining me, Mario, on this one.
No problem. And thanks for the people watching. 787.
That's good.
Confused people. Thank you.
That's I think that's better or on par with like the first millisecond of the Taylor Swift stream. So like that's something we can hang our hat on. I'm gonna
they're like, why are our numbers crap? What's on the internet right now that people are watching instead of us? That's what the Taylor Swift company was saying.
That's right, and our people are emailing me right now to laud and praise us for drawing this many. I don't know if anyone's ever live streamed 786 people at the same time. So really appreciate everyone joining us. And again, really appreciate our pals over Greg and Tom over at the NFFC and everyone that works so hard over there to set this up every single year round. They've got great baseball and basketball contests as well, but I love their football ones. That's where a lot of my action ends up being. And I love doing this RotoWire Online Championship every single year. Really fun format, really sharp, tough drafters that you're going up against. A really nice test of your mettle. I think Dulce said it best for the rest of us. But for Mario Puig, I'm John McKechnie. Thanks for watching tonight's RotoWire Online Championship NFFC draft. Catch you next time.